Hey, it's Tuesday night. Welcome to Grumpy Acres. It's time for another homestead update and general chat session. How's everybody doing tonight? Are you doing okay?
I'm doing great.
Should we say hi to everybody in the chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tamber was in here first. Tamber, glad you made it home safely. Everybody, in case you don't know, Tamber came up for Midwest Preparedness Festival. We finally got to meet her in person.
She came to the house, brought us some treats.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Beth Emily's in the house. Skane's made it back home.
Nice.
Len, what's up, brother? Hey, read the comment on your deer thing, man. Billy's bone sauce. That's the way to go. Joseph G, how you doing?
Hi.
Hope everybody had a fantastic week. Well,
ours was packed full.
Homestead update. What was the big news this week?
There was a lot. So we've got stuff going in the garden now. I still have to get plant split.
I was thinking about going back and just talking chronologically. What happened Thursday?
Joel Salatin came out. We made all the butter for the dinner, and butter turned out great. Everybody seemed to love it. And it was great having Joel here and being able to host and do all of that. It was tried to do as much farm to table as possible for him. And
and here's a lesson that people need to learn. You can call it farm to table and still use stuff from the store because you're not going to be able to get everything all at one time. So it's okay as long as a majority, and like I would say 90
to
95% of the stuff that was at the dinner
was farm
to table.
Yeah.
So so it doesn't have to be 100%, guys.
Yep. So that was really cool. And then so we did that, and then we had Midwest Preparedness Friday, Saturday.
What'd you do Friday night at Midwest?
Friday night we had the seed and plant trade, and that went very, very well. It was probably one of the, not the biggest, but the people that participated, like really participated. Like I got garlic chives, all kinds of stuff. And like the garlic chives he brought in a bucket and it was all watered down. And if you wanted them, you were digging your hands down into the tub and you were splitting them. Nikki and I had to do that. Then we were washing our hands afterwards. Pretty cool. It was very, very cool. So we did that. Brought a bunch of stuff home. Almost everything is planted. You still have turmeric. I think Tamara brought that to you.
No, there's the Marimbar spinach.
No, pretty sure it's either turmeric or ginger. Those roots.
Those are okay. Oh, those roots.
Those roots are sitting out there. There's eyes on them, and so those need to get planted. Only 3 Malabar left that need to be planted. Those have to be trellised. You know that, right?
No, I didn't.
Yes, those have to be trellised. So we can do just a small one, and doesn't have to be very big. And then we've got one more bag of garlic chives out there that have to be planted. And then you've got me running to the greenhouse for strawberries and some herbs. Then I think there was something else on your list.
And the reason I'm having her do that is because the last couple of nights, I've started building the very first food forests. They're not very big. They're more like food islands. But I've got a place that
island is better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better. Absolutely, it's better than nothing. But I've got one place around a wild plum tree where we're going to put creeping thyme and dill and oregano.
And then what we get from Scott? Scott brought me elderberry trees.
A couple of elderberries.
And then walking onions.
Yep.
So I'm excited about the walking onions. I've never done those before. So I'm super excited about those. They just kind of roll over and keep going and keep going. So super excited about that.
Yeah, Tamber, I just got our Sweet 100s into the bed.
Yeah,
and they're doing fine.
Turmeric. Yeah, Sweet 100s look great. In fact, so G did something. We were talking about, those glass thingies with the water. You fill them with water and you can put them in your potted plants and that kind of thing. G's like, do you think we could use 2-liter bottles for that? I'm like, I don't see why not. And so he tried it. And I came home from work today and I look over and there's a 2-liter bottle sitting upside down. And I started looking at the difference because 2 of the tomato plants were separate in separate buckets, and the one with the water looked healthier. So G just ran out and put another one in there.
Yep.
Why don't you tell him how to do that?
Oh, it's easy. Take a 2-liter bottle and fill it full of water, and then take and poke a hole. I used
When you put the cap back on it.
I poked a hole in the cap using my Leatherman, the Phillips head point on my Leatherman, and made it, screwed it on, and then just stuck it in the ground upside down. We're going to see how it works. It's not glass, so as the vacuum happens, it sucks the bottle in. We're going to see how that works. But
I think it'll be fine.
It's just an experiment to see if it works. The Strawberry Island. If you guys remember, anybody that's been on the channel for a while, if you go back and you remember, there was an old orange pickup truck tucked into some trees back in the pasture, and I moved it.
You would call that orange?
Well, at one point it was orange. It was that Datsun orange, but I moved it last fall, and now there is a strawberry island underneath those trees. The only thing I have to do before the strawberries go in is put a fence up around it so that the goats can't get to it. And one of the reasons why I did it around these trees specifically is because the goats had started tearing the bark off the tree. So I'm gonna fence them in anyway because I want some shade out there in the pasture.
And those are black walnuts too, right?
I'm not quite sure what they are.
English walnuts, maybe.
I'm not quite
black
sure.
or English walnuts, or both. I have no idea.
So and the wild plum tree has got double fence on it to keep them from attacking it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these little islands all around the fruit trees that we put in and double fence them so that we can start growing food underneath the trees and just get some food independence. And Randy Pitts came in. He's saying hi to everybody.
We do need, I've got to get out. My first harvest of comfrey is in. So I've got to get that harvested. And this time I'm going to do it. We have somebody, a friend of ours, that needs some serious medicine. Some eczema is trying to come up from inflammation, that kind of thing. So I'm going to make a stronger dose. And when I do that, we'll have some to share. I think I'm just going to call it like extra. So we'll do that.
Okay, so Len had chipmunks eating his strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking earlier.
Bone sauce.
If you guys don't know, Len is Blue Wolf, and he did a video for some commercial purchased deer repellent things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how well they work or not. And I made the comment that Billy's Bone Sauce from Permapasture Farms works wonders.
And it'll last for a long time.
Yeah, and it's
worth the money.
It's a little expensive on the front end for how much you get, but a little bit goes a long way. And this will keep deer and other animals like from an acre, just a little bit on a tree or on a post will keep them away.
Yeah. So if you like hunting, be careful where you put it.
Right. That's why we're not using it here yet. And case in point, I was out working on the Strawberry Island last night, and the dogs focused on something down by the pond, and I looked down there and I thought it was a couple of turkeys jumping around in the weeds. Turned out it was a couple of does, and they were maybe 50 yards away from me. And they heard me talking to the dogs and they took off. But it's just so you got to be very careful, and it will keep coons away. And there's some conversation about whether it'll keep bears away. I don't know if anybody's tried it so far. We'd have to ask Bill. Maybe I ought to just send Billy an email and see if anybody's tested it.
See Tamber's question. Okay, so I see that. So
right here.
Yeah.
Are the flowers of the comfrey more medicinal than the leaves?
So yes and no. So basically what I'm doing for this, because it's flowered out and doing all that, I want every single level of medicine into that salve. And so, but the flowers are really pretty too. So we're going to steep them. I will end up leaving the flowers in the component only because I do believe that it gives a little extra oomph in there.
Okay, guys, give me a 5x5 in the chat if you guys can hear me and see us. Randy's having some problems, and we need to see if it's us or him.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a 5x5 if you guys are hearing us and seeing us.
Yep.
What else went on around here this weekend?
Dang, I mean a lot. This I'm still on the weekend, but
So Midwest Preparedness Festival was a success.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't
It
talked
went
with
really
Spags and Data,
well.
but from what I saw, I was only out there
There had to have been
on.
600-800 people there.
I don't think there were that
Oh
many.
my gosh, the food trucks were swamped.
Really?
But I wasn't cooking
Hey,
either.
there's somebody
so
new. Mississippi Homestead.
Hi,
Homestead
hi.
Journey. How you doing? Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
But Midwest Preparedness, so they had Joel spoke and Bear spoke on Thursday.
Bear spoke Thursday and Saturday. Joel
Was he there?
spoke.
He wasn't there Saturday.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he did a Saturday one too. Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Missed
It was one that everybody should see. So, like, if you're trying to get a community together, you're trying to figure out how to filter people, how to figure out who's a hard worker, who's not a hard worker, who's an agent. Yeah, I'm going to throw that one out there. Who's who. That speech he's going to do, he recorded everything and he's going to put those out. So watch Bear Independent, look for those. I'm like stalking him because I need to watch Thursdays and I need to watch Saturdays.
So I was only out there for about 6 hours, 7 hours, maybe. I
Mhm.
went out Saturday morning and I came home and fully intended on working, but I was beat and I came home and sat down for a rest when I got home and fell asleep for 2 hours.
Saturday.
Went out and worked until 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was beat.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was nice not vending, not having to haul everything back and forth.
I gotta tell you though, I missed you all, and I miss cooking for you as much as you miss me cooking for you. And so hopefully I'll be better in the fall and we'll be able to do that again.
Shout out to Carrie and Glenn from Thunder Hill
my
Farm
gosh,
Mill.
you guys are great.
They
sold some of our stuff.
Yeah, we had some of the stuff in the
Our
tent.
t-shirts, our freeze-dried food, our hats, that kind of thing. Thank you all for supporting us, even when we're not there all the time. You guys are wonderful, and we really, really appreciate it. So,
What was wild was I had people coming up when we got to camp, like, I just heard about the wreck 5 minutes ago. Chief said that.
Yeah,
Chief-
Chief was really concerned.
But yeah, so
Nikki was concerned. There were a lot of people.
it was nice. It was nice people thinking about us and saying
we think of you guys as family as much as you think of us as family.
Tamber did not get any cinnamon rolls. You may have to ship
Well,
her some. Do they ship?
I can ship them.
Okay. Maybe you have to hook her up.
I might. I got to make cinnamon rolls for work tomorrow. So,
And why is that?
I offered. I opened my mouth.
She offered. Okay. She got caught. She got caught doing something she wasn't supposed to.
No, I told Garen, like, there's a whole thing at work. And so it's really funny. I was telling him what they do. So if you leave your computer open and you're not at your desk, there's a guy that walks around and he says, okay. And he emails everybody and lets it off of your computer. And it says, I'm bringing donuts tomorrow. And you're responsible to pick up donuts tomorrow. So rule of thumb, do not leave your computer open. And so, yeah.
You know, the thing about this Midwest Preparedness Festival, it how do I put it? Was a lot less low key. It was a lot less. It was just.
I thought it was pretty low key.
Well, yeah, it was low key. There wasn't a sense of wackiness going. I don't know how to explain it.
There was no wackiness.
Exactly. Yeah, Lynn, she got a job. We're not going to say where.
I can privately tell you, though, brother. I can tell you where I'm working, but that's got to be in private.
And if anybody from her work, she said that we've got new subscribers here because they welcome. And please do not take anything that I say against her, because I am a just a little bit militant, and if you knew our story, you'd understand why.
Yeah, but if you watch our channel, you'll know our story. Yeah. And I actually got to share a story a little bit today, so they do know.
Yes.
One of the reasons why one of them went in and said, okay, I'm subscribing right now. And so, yeah, that was super cool.
Yes, Nicole was there. I got to talk to her and Mama Sauce on Saturday morning.
And we figured out, so talking to Nicole, right? We can announce this. She'll figure out the details and the marketing on it. We want to let you guys know first. What classes are we teaching at SRF in October?
And this is tentative.
Okay.
This is tentative.
That's
guys.
Fair.
So we are teaching a Homestead cheese making and milk processing class. And the class is going to show you how to use milk off your homestead to make cheese and a whole bunch of other things. The issue that we've got, it's not an issue, it's just we have to, I came up with a lesson plan for an entire 8 hours. And unfortunately at Self-Reliance Festival this year or this fall, they are not setting aside a specific day for pay classes. So Nicole and I were talking, and she wants me to adjust the class a little bit.
So we'll have to leave some things out.
Yeah, we'll have to leave some stuff out. As a result, it's not going to cost as much. But she wants people to be able to sit in her class and get something.
And then go listen to speakers.
And then come back and do the next part. Because I don't know if you've ever made cheese, guys, but there's a lot of downtime. And to maximize the I'm going to call it teaching because that's what I'm doing. To maximize the teaching experience, I packed all the downtime in the cheese making process with doing other things for processing milk. So we have to come up with
but we could probably do a video of all of the process.
Well, eventually,
and perhaps offer that video to the people that pay for the class.
Eventually what's going to happen is we're doing it on June 21st. We're doing it specifically for the community, just the people.
Dogs. It's like watching paint dry. Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is.
But we're doing it specifically for the community so that we can work out the kinks in the lesson plan. And then in July, I'm going to do another one for another group for free so that they can do it and they can give me feedback so I can refine it more. But eventually what we want to do.
Who's that?
Well, I've talked to several groups.
Okay.
But eventually what we want to do is we want to monetize it, right? And we want to be able to offer this day-long class where you can come. I've already talked to Tag about using the community center, and I need to talk to him some more about renting it if we start doing it for a pay-for class. But we can do this locally. We've got all kinds of people. We've got Lawrence. KU is down there. We've got Manhattan, K-State. We got Topeka. We got a whole bunch of people that would probably be interested in this. And, and if we can run this class 2-3 times a year, maybe once at a festival or 2 or 3 times here locally, that's a good side gig. And that's one of the things that we talk about on the channel all the time is you need to get a side gig. You need to figure out how to make some more income and monetize the stuff that you're doing on your homestead.
Well, and this is a good side gig that actually helps everybody learn how to get your 1 gallon of milk that you just took out of a cow and you don't waste anything.
Right.
Like
exactly.
We literally already, we take it all the way down to brining the cheese. Nothing is wasted.
Well, and we talked about that last week on the live, and
yeah,
we are literally, nothing's going to waste.
Right.
Hey,
Gregory.
Gregory came in later, and I didn't say hi because I was in the middle of a thought. But so that's cool. That's cool. So I kind of worked a little bit on the lesson today when I had some downtime at work. It's going to be harder to adjust it than I thought. I can do it. It's just
so do we need to do a day before class? Maybe that's the option.
A what?
Day before class, day before all the speakers doing that.
But it's not in the schedule.
Oh,
that's the whole reason. So what Angela's asking is, do we need to do a day before the festival starts? And that's not an option because the way the venue's working this time. So we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to figure out.
We'll figure it out.
A different way to do it, and it'll be
because we were gonna try to take you guys through 3 cheese processes.
Actually, more than that.
Yeah, we were gonna take you. You were gonna get butter, yogurt,
cheese curds,
cheese curds,
ricotta, and a paneer.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a paneer is, it's an Indian recipe for basically soft farmstead cheese. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And then brine with the rest that was left over. And then I was going to show everybody how to can that along with bacon.
Well, and
we'll still do that.
Ultimately, that's the goal, to both of us teaching a class at a festival at the same time and having having the milk class roll over to something that's topical in the canning class. But it's one of those things. And quite frankly, guys, I would rather do this. I would rather go to a festival and teach a class and then be able to relax than going there and vending all day long. It just sounds fun. The turkeys sound like Bee whining to get in the door, but she's lounging on the floor. Oh, Scange's turkeys are at the door wanting her in.
Well, the turkeys are chirping. So.
Oh, I can't hear them.
I can hear them.
All I can hear is tinnitus. Oh, did Sam pop in?
Hey, Sam.
I bought.
You got some Sam jerky.
I got the Sam jerky.
Sam, let me ask before you do. Did the jerky make it home?
Yeah.
How much?
About a quarter of it, and I ate the rest of it on Monday morning on the way into work.
Oh, you guys!
Sam made a spicy jerky. What exactly was the name of that jerky there, Sam? But whatever it was, that was some of the best jerky that I have ever had.
Really?
Seriously, it was good. Huh. It was good. And Sam and I talked about how he made the jerky.
Look at there, Zeg's in here. Hey, Zeg.
Hey, Zeg. Zeg was at Midwest Preparedness Festival. Yeah. I'll tell you,
looking sexy,
guys.
Girls,
Mr. William has shucked some weight, and we were laughing about it Saturday morning because he's lost all this weight, and by next Midwest Preparedness Festival, he's probably going to go into the gym and be like RFK and come to Midwest Preparedness Festival all jacked. He actually was showing us the poses. He was
like getting there.
He's like the clock is up there.
So Zeg, ooh, that's a good fundraiser. We could have Zeg walk the stage and auction him off for a date for one night.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd do that to him. There it is. Exactly. Body by homesteading. Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
I'm telling you, hey, we ought to get together, Zeg, and I've always had an idea for a farm
video. You wanted to do a video.
What we call it?
Because the doctors, but I think somebody's doing it already. You were Farm Fit, and so they were talking about doing a Farm Fit video because doctors tell them all the time. They're like, "Wait, but you weigh so much," and he's like, "But I farm all the time. They can't figure out why he's so healthy." And it's because your body is strong.
Okay,
he should be weaker.
So the whole Farm Fit thing came because I had a blood clot.
And then a widowmaker.
That the doctor said should have killed me.
A widowmaker.
And then 2 years later?
No.
Was it
6 months later?
6 months later, I had a heart attack. And both times the doctors were like, hey, I'm really surprised you're alive. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, it's because of everything I do around here.
Farm Fit.
Yep.
Next, you'll be running with Eric.
There you go. I'm telling you, man. Bill was looking good, man. He was looking good.
Yeah.
That was the cool thing about going to the Midwest Preparedness
Fit
Festival.
Farmer Skane says it is. Fit Farmer.
Oh, Porterhouse. She's talking about running with Eric Porterhouse.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you never know.
But
I would try to run with Eric. I think I'd make it
over about
like 5 minutes.
Not even that long.
I feel like I'm done.
You know what? It was really cool seeing everybody. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been quite open about this. I miss the old Midwest Preparedness.
Yeah, but we've kind of solved that, right?
Well, no, we
didn't. Christy did.
We have the OG campouts, but it's not the same. Even then, it's not the same as it used to be. And I miss the old ways. And it's just, I'm a creature of habit.
Oh,
I'm a creature of habit, and you can ask her. I get in routines, and the routines are what keep me going. But
for those of you that don't know,
I have no idea what that is.
Yes, you do. That is the old ways in Potawatomi.
Oh, is it? I did not know that.
You did. You taught it to me.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
But so but it was nice seeing everybody. I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, and I did not have enough time to spend as much much with everybody as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to come home when I came home though, because I was beat.
You know what I found was very interesting is there was a lot of people that I knew that I wanted to go talk to. And you guys don't take this wrong, but I got out of the car and I automatically had people come up and everybody was talking to me and that kind of thing. And I had people come to me that I've known for a long time and they were like, I really wanted to come talk to you, but you were always talking to somebody else. Yes, this is why you get me in your private life. Because when we go to festivals, we're like bombarded. People want to know what we know. People want to ask questions. I got people, oh my gosh, there was one girl who bought sweet potato slips from me 2 or 3 years ago. And she's like, hey, I saw you up there. Do you remember? And I met you here. And I was like, yeah, sure. There's more than that. I gotta trim these too. Yeah, I see that, and I gotta trim them too. And I was like, I got more than enough, but it's not time to plant until the end of May. So it'll probably be today's the 13th. I'll probably start advertising a week and a half that I've got them, and you come in and get them, or you don't, and the rest of them go in my garden. So,
nope, skeins of slips survived while she was gone.
Nice.
Awesome.
They usually do.
You know what's really weird about planting this year is the greenhouse was really successful. I was extremely happy about it.
I got lettuce coming out of my ears.
It blows my mind. Well, we almost killed it. We almost killed. I'll tell that story too. No. But it blows my mind that we're only at March 13th. Or I'm sorry, May 13th.
And we've got an abundance of crap.
Because normally this is when we're starting to plant, period. And we've been doing this stuff and getting a bounty. And so it just in my mind, the time schedule is all messed up. Okay, so Randy wants to know, what is your favorite sweet potato?
Oh, the Japanese.
The Japanese.
I really love it. It's a purple sweet potato. And when you taste it, it's not super sweet, but is really great. And I do have those slips. And so those I actually need to go trim, get those started to make more. And I need to do that in the next week because I do believe she also wants some of those. Yeah. So not just the Jersey Giant. Jersey Giant I use as roasting potatoes. And then the Japanese sweet potatoes, I use those as more like, they're decorative and that kind of thing, if that makes sense. Still have a good flavor. That's going to be your puree, that kind of thing. Depends on how you cook. So we won't go into chef terms. You could also go ahead and take those and roast those as well. They're great. But yeah, those are my favorite.
Rosie made it home safe.
Hey, good.
Tamara says, all my plants grew a bunch, but I lost 3 chicks. No one takes care of your animals like you do. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We've lost 4 turkey chicks in the last week.
Really?
Yeah, there was all the small ones, all the young ones. All the young ones I think they're trampoline. We need to figure out how to get more
I got to get bigger brooders.
Okay, so Mississippi Homestead said, my lettuce died a month ago. Too hot here already. Yeah, and that's so
I bet.
I forgot to open the greenhouse one day, and I came home at the end of the day, and somebody else had forgotten to open the greenhouse too, and everything was burnt. All the lettuce was burnt. So it wasn't
burnt.
I've been dumping
it was brown.
You harvested it the day before, so that was stressing the plants, and they were stressed. They're having a hard time recovering, but they are recovering. I've been dousing them with water every day. They're getting a ton of water, and some of them, the ones in the second bin are coming back great. The one with the potato in it.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to our comfrey and horseradish that we had in the mineral tubs. They were looking a little weak, and I got them into the ground about 4 days ago, and they're doing great. They're recovering just fine. And that's something else that I did this week was I took all the tires that we had spread all over that we were using for vining plants and moved them all into the new garden space and filled them with compost and dirt. So they're ready to go. The only thing I need to do is I need to dig up the portable fence and get it in place to keep the goats at least a physical barrier.
Yeah. Yep. And you can go to Tag's got those T-posts and that kind of thing. We have enough fencing.
I gotta
that.
I gotta get time to get over there. Probably do it this weekend.
Yeah. So right now, also one of the things we're trying to figure out now that I'm working, we're trying to figure out we have to swap vehicles every once in a while. So looks like we're gonna do that once this week, which I appreciate. Parking garage and a big farm truck. The combination is not good. Like the mirror, like I'm still trying to figure out the passenger side mirror. Basically, what I need you to do is start pushing it in while I sit in the driver's seat. So I can tell you, okay, good, that's good right there. And because they're the for the trailer, right? So when you're hauling the horse trailers and that kind of thing, they extend out. And our truck, for some reason, it's all manual. So you have to pull everything in and then pull it in again. And oh my God, it's a nightmare. I about took out a concrete wall yesterday. I did better today. So that worked out. I was the person, anybody watching this ever see me drive, they're not going to believe it. I was creeping and making sure, and like everything is a 7-foot clearance. And I'm telling you, look at me. This much.
I drove the white truck to Truman. I know exactly what you go.
And I'm like, oh, I need to find something out on the street.
Well, ultimately, the goal is to get her a more economical vehicle.
I need an SUV is what I need.
My gas expenditures have doubled since she started going to work
because you have to come home.
I come home at lunch every day. I'm close enough I can do that. I come home and eat lunch and take care of the animals and get back within an hour. So my lunch is covered. But mine's doubled, and then hers is probably going to go up by 50% at the end of the day.
But I mean, we're making the money to adjust it, so it's not a big deal. And at least we have the opportunity to be able to adjust it that way. So, right. So a lot of people don't.
There you go.
What's that?
I have used old tires from an irrigation pivot. If you guys have never seen those are huge tires. Cut out the sidewalls and fill it with soil for strawberries. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's something I realized last night, as a matter of fact, while I was filling those things with compost. The tires with the thin sidewalls are much better and much easier to do than tires with deep sidewalls. I never thought about cutting them out. I probably, in the future, if I do it, I'll probably
do that.
Yeah.
So
a moped. Yeah, I don't want her driving to Topeka on a moped. That would be a death sentence.
Yeah, not happening. I'm already having, because of construction, that kind of thing, I'm having to actually get off early and go through the inner city, and then definitely to come back, I have to go inner city.
When your dad's here, ask him what he's doing with his motorcycle.
Oh,
he'll get you a motorcycle license.
I bet you that's coveted. And I'm not doing a motorcycle. I
put your leathers on and drive.
I would do a moped before I do a motorcycle. So yeah, that's not happening. But no, not happening. I'm sure Dad would teach me how to do a motorcycle. But could you imagine?
Her dad's got a really nice motorcycle.
But he's a Viking guy. He was Harley Davidson. I think my brother Ryan got that one, and now he's in a Viking, and he's hardly riding that now. But I don't want to do it. I don't think I can hold it up, and you know that. Like right now, my constraint as far as lifting is 25 pounds.
We'll get you one of those spiders that got 3 tires, so you don't have to lift it.
All I'm saying is Jennifer works there, and she does ride a motorcycle, and she has not brought her motorcycle to work. So.
There you go, Gregory. That's what I'm talking about,
what
man.
Are you saying?
A trike with a Volkswagen back end and a bench seat for the seat.
That would work. I can go to work and then go to Sam's Club.
Works. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that works.
I like
would do that.
See, Gregory.
In winter, it would not be fun.
Well, we'll get you an enclosed cab on it.
Do they have those?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a motorcycle license for those? Because it's a tricycle?
Probably. Probably. I don't know.
Be easier to pass. I could do that.
Yeah, Tamara, some of those conversion tracks can be a little expensive. But so yeah,
Not as expensive as a truck.
that's a fun conversation. That'd be fun. You would definitely be one of the
be the talk of the company.
Yeah. So we had a guy when I worked for Truman Medical Center.
Could you see me in a suit on a motorcycle going down? Good night. Oh,
we had a guy at Truman Medical Center when I worked there who drove a truck that was burning cooking oil. And he on his way home, he lived in North Kansas City, and on the way home he would stop by the Chinese restaurant and get the oil. He had a big tank in the back of his truck and a vacuum that would suck all the oil out, and then he would distill it, and that's what he would use to drive his truck. So you could always tell when he drove his truck to work because it smelled like the garage smelled like a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, well, here's a good thing. We park on the roof. So it's a 2-year waiting list at minimum to get a reserved parking space.
Yeah.
And the first floor, forget it. You got to be an officer or something like that, bigwig, in order to get that, except for Saturdays.
There's Tag.
Hey,
we were just talking about the community dinner and Joel being here there, Tag. Really enjoyed that conversation. I did not get a chance to listen to him on Thursday, but I was over with Thunderhill Farm on Saturday and got to listen to him. That was one of the good things about Midwest Preparedness this year was they moved the tent so that the vendors could hear it.
That was awesome.
Yes, no, it was, and I
great.
had several vendors say something about it.
Yes,
and it was really cool,
including Fred.
Fred was there, and if you guys don't know who Fred is the guy that invented the rock pot.
And guess what comes with your full package of rock pot now?
What?
We've been waiting for it.
What?
It's the
Oh, it's a little solar, the little solar cooker tube thing. They've got those now.
Mm-hmm. And they're big. So you set the rock pot on that, face it towards the parabolic lens. And so you put that in there and it comes all together. And so I told Fred, I'm like, hey, we never got that. There's no way we can display that we have that. And Fred said, don't worry about it. I'm mailing it to you.
Bonnie Blue's accusing me of conspiring against you. Getting you to ride a motorcycle. No, but it was nice. The weekend was nice. I spent as much time as I could there.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm sorry about the cinnamon roll, guys. The cinnamon rolls, it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of work. I'll see how I do. I'm going to make 2 dozen tonight. I can do that. And we'll see how sore I am after that. And that'll tell me what kind of volume I can do later.
Hey, listen, guys, if you ever go to a festival and Fred is there from Rockpot, you need to go talk to him because he is a very interesting guy. And he's literally a rocket scientist. Mm-hmm. Seriously, you can honestly say once you talk to him that you know a full-blown rocket scientist.
He's smart.
And just stop by and say hi and pick one up. Okay, now here's some. Tag and I had this conversation. We have an affiliate link for Rockpot, and we would like you guys to use it. If you have a chance to buy one at a festival, buy it at the festival. I understand people want to support the community. Basically, you'll get more money off if you're buying it from him at the festival.
So here's what happens. They have a kickback, right? So there's a kickback to affiliates. And so basically when you are at a festival, what he does is he drops what the affiliates would get off of the rock pot in that package. And so you'll get it for $230 versus $280. Let's just throw it out like that. And could be a little more, a little less. But that's how he does it. And we just want you guys to have it in your arsenal And so if you find it cheaper, get it cheaper.
Well, and again, we appreciate the community supporting us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the community supporting us. But if you guys can buy it directly from Fred, buy it from Fred.
I even told Callie, I'm like, go get it. Because Callie's like, I didn't know you were affiliate. And I was like, go get it. Here's your discount. Here's why he's doing that. Go do it. And she was like, okay, so hopefully they got one.
I would spend extra money to keep it closed. Yes.
Aw, thank you, Tag.
Listen, guys, here's something, and I'm going to do a video on this, but I have firmly come to believe this.
Yeah, Tag said he didn't know either.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a soundbite for the AI generated short.
Okay.
So don't interrupt.
Okay.
This is going to be a video, but I in a nutshell, if we believe what we believe, then we have to behave in a certain way. And if we behave in a certain way, we have to understand why we are behaving that way. And it becomes a self-licking ice cream cone. And it just builds on each other. And tag tomatoes. The comment on the screen, I would spend extra money to keep it close. Tag tells a story about buying local tomatoes that cost way more than the big ag tomatoes that travel 2,000 miles to get to central Kansas or eastern Kansas. So when Tag says something like that, he's behaving a certain way because he believes something, so he's behaving a certain way, and then he understands why he is doing what he's doing. So when Tag says something like that, that is 100% true. That is living by your beliefs. And if we could all get there, and I'm going to raise my hand. I'm guilty. I'm a hypocrite in this respect. But hey, come on and join us. The church is full of hypocrites, and there's always room for more. Right?
There's no church here.
This is the church of preparedness.
Okay. Oh gosh.
But yeah.
Don't become that person.
Again,
I have to back out. I'm going to jump ship here in a minute.
Again, we do appreciate the community supporting us.
Oh, self-licking ice cream. What?
I can morph that into because you're a perv, anti.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Terminator got her CT scan done.
Nice.
There it is. That right there bears repeating.
I don't have.
It's hard to break the old habits. None of us are without flaw.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the goal. None of us are going to be perfect in this respect, but the goal is to make that margin of error get smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. So do you need to go start your cinnamon rolls?
I would.
Oh, I can. So I got all kinds of stuff I can talk about.
Do you?
As far as the world at large.
Like if you're wound up about that, I might go do that. And so I'm okay with that. But guys, we just want to make sure that we got in here, did the homestead update. G's looking some stuff up. There's a lot of crap that has happened, especially in the last week. I will tell you though, this company that I'm working for, I just want to say this. It is so nice to be working for a company who cares about their employees, treats them so well, and wants to be a community and trying to build a community, exactly what the community that we live in. And, it's not without its flaws, not without its frustrations. Kind of nice that I come home and I don't feel like I have to say, just give me an hour, don't talk to me, right? So I haven't got there yet. Maybe that might happen. I'm not sure. But
I don't know. They got the Zen room at work. So.
Yeah. So far, what I want to do is just come home and tell G everything that is happening. And it's so exciting. This is the first time he's like, quit talking about work. I don't want to hear it. But
I haven't said that to you. Don't lie to people.
When I was working at Casey's, you
did. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
And so
because there was a whole bunch of dysfunction going on there.
And so I just had to get out of the four walls. That was nothing I put on my resume. Like it was a Casey's job, right? Like nothing with my degree, nothing with my background. It was a Casey's job. And but give them credit because they put up with a lot of crap. So
Shannon's
Anyway.
Bible readings and study, getting more subscribers.
Good. And so, anyway, I just want y'all to know I love you. I'm glad that
She's got to go make cinnamon rolls to pay for her sins at work.
it's not too. At 8:00, I should be done with cinnamon rolls, probably about 9:30. So
Okay.
that'll get me
Go
in
start.
bed in time.
I'll yell
so.
at you.
I'll answer from
you
over
can
there.
comment from over there.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Hey, and tomorrow be at least 10% better than what you were today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it moved up. It was 1%.
Nope,
Now
I'm at 10%.
she's expecting 10%.
Hey,
from
if
you
I got a
people.
fire lit under my butt, I'm lighting a fire under yours. Period.
Okay. Okay, let me move chairs out. Okay. Hey, listen, guys, since we were talking about side hustles and paying the bills, I got some things I want to share with you. These are cool. So
I cannot make cinnamon rolls.
why?
I have no milk.
Go call Chris. So the first thing I want to talk about, you guys can help yourselves by helping and help us at the same time. So Food Forest Nursery has a huge sale going on. You can see it there just right here next to me. 30% off everything till the end of the month. 40% off on orders over $500. You can scan this code to go to the affiliate link, or you can go down in the description below. I'll tell you what, guys. Food Forest Nursery, the wild plum bush that we were talking about earlier, that came from them. That thing is hardy as all get out. I killed everything else. It was my fault, so I'm not going to invoke the 1-year guarantee. I would highly recommend buying from them because their product is superior. It all comes in rootstock. Go in our back catalog and look at the video that we did on unboxing the shipment of trees that we got. Guys, listen, we highly recommend foodforestnursery.com, and we ask you to support them, and in the process, you can support us, okay? The next thing I want to share with you, let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Where is it? Banners, there it is. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about. So this link right here, and I will post it in the chat below. If you are thinking about getting Starlink, which I highly recommend, if you live in a rural community and DHS or cable is hard to get, or not DHS, DNS is hard to get, Starlink is probably the best wireless service provider that I can think of. We had HughesNet, and it's head and shoulders above HughesNet. For the next 2 days, it ends on the 15th of May. So you've got 2 days. The new package, the new residential package, it's zero. Say it again. I'm going to say it again. $0 for the installation package, and in the process, we get a little kickback from them, which helps us. I'm telling you right now, guys, the zero installation fee saves you like $350. So it's well worth it. So if you're thinking about getting Starlink, the next 48 hours might be the time to do it. And if you do it, use the link right here. Use that one right there. And you can get a zero installation fee. All right. And that helps us in the process. And again, I'm gonna post it down in the chat or the comments after the video's over. Okay, so we're gonna hide that, and the final thing, we are redoing the way that we do our t-shirts. I've been talking with Ghost Prepper. He's a like-minded individual, and he started a small business, and he's the one that's done all our t-shirts that we sell at festivals. We have worked out, so instead of carrying a bunch of inventory, we're going to have displays of each one of the designs that we have. And we've got 8 separate designs now that I want to take to festivals, but we're going to do on-demand drop ship t-shirts. And then once we figure out which ones sell the best, then we'll have them on stock at festivals when we go. You guys, you can show your support for the channel, and you can show your feelings about the government and other things with these designs. So keep that in mind. And eventually I'm going to get the website, the grumpyacresstore.com or grumpyacresfarm.com. And we will get that updated. Okay, so Anti's asking for the email. Here's what you do. Oh, I've got your email. Never mind. Well, you know what? Hang on. Okay. Oops, that's it's not 2 T's, it's 1 T on the front. I fat fingered that. Sorry, guys. TheRealGrumpyAcres@gmail.com. I've got your email. After we're done, I will send you the link. Anybody else, if you want me to send you the link directly, go ahead and email me, and I'll get it taken care of either tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, so that's enough of me begging for money. I wasn't too. Give me a 1. Give me a 1 in the chat if I seemed a little pathetic there. I always feel whenever I talk about this stuff, I always feel a little pathetic. It's what is it? The e-begging is what they call it. The e-begging. Okay. Oh, Lynn's being nice. You're just being nice because we got common background, Lynn. You're afraid that I'll drop dimes on you too. Okay. So what do we want to start talking about first? We're done with the Homestead update. You guys got any Homestead stuff you want to talk about real quick before we move on to the next segment where we run the risk of getting canceled on YouTube or upsetting liberals?
Don't do that.
Oh, I can't help it if liberals get upset. And here's the deal. If they're upset, maybe they needed to be upset. Okay. While you guys are doing that, let me get to, I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is Tom Tillotson. Do you guys know who Tom Tillotson is? He is a Republican congressman from North Carolina. He tanked Ed Martin being posted as the prosecuting attorney or the district attorney for Washington, D.C. And Tom Tillotson just said he could not do it in good conscience. He was just unable to do it. Yeah, there we go. Tag's right about that. Foodforcenursery.com. But he just could not do it. Now Tom Tillotson, to give you a little background, he voted for the wise Latina on the Supreme Court. In fact, he's made 3 really, really bad decisions two for the Supreme Court and 1 for something else. But he is a rhino. He is the epitome of what's wrong with the Republican Party, to be honest with you. And and quite frankly, it was as far as I'm concerned, a betrayal of the base, because by all accounts, Ed Martin has done a really good job in the last 100 and some days since President Trump appointed him as the district or the prosecutor. We cannot survive as a republic if people that are supposedly on our side vote against us. All right. And speaking of voting against us, this is the other betrayal. So that was the first betrayal this week. The second betrayal is and I cannot remember off the top of my head, I cannot remember the committee, but they had in front of them the Safe Hearing Act, which would take suppressors off the NFA. And they were also talking about taking short-barreled rifles off the NFA, which quite honestly, from a Second Amendment standpoint, any rule is an infringement, but these are true infringements. All right. A short-barreled rifle is not any more dangerous than a regular rifle. In fact, if I was going to argue from a completely scientific standpoint, short-barreled rifles are less dangerous because they're less accurate. All right. And then suppressors. Apparently the left thinks that suppressors behave like they do in the movies, and that everybody that has a suppressor is an assassin. That's not true. And it's really kind of weird that they behave like this, or they think like this, because they're always telling us that we need common sense gun control like Britain. Well, you can walk into a hardware store and buy a suppressor in Britain. They've got them. They use them for hunting all the time because they reduce the report of the rifle, which causes it doesn't cause any concern for people around, and it helps protect people's hearings, right? So but they did a compromise. They did a compromise. They took and I might be a little off base here. All right, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but they compromised to protect the online gun registration. So you have to go through the whole NFA, the FBI background check and stuff. They compromised to keep that from going nationwide and being truly intrusive. And so they sacrificed suppressors and short-barreled rifles. And there was something else on there too. But quite frankly, these things are betrayals. These things are betrayals. And we need to, the last thing I want to do in today's day and age is primary an incumbent Republican, because as bad as they can be sometimes, they are better than the alternative. But some of these guys need to go. Seriously. Skane says the same thing here in LA with Bill Cassidy. I may have to change to the Republican Party so he can keep the primary him out. That's an option here. That's a new option here. So yeah, so we need to be cognizant. This speaks to us being involved in local politics and understanding what our representatives and senators are doing. And
I have to go feed my Tamagotchi. I gotta go get
okay.
again.
Should I tell people about the Tamagotchi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the revelation.
Well, okay. Angela had an epiphany because of something I said today. Anyway, before I get there. So guys, be involved. Get involved in local politics and your state, because it does make a difference. Okay. So Angela had an epiphany this morning because I pointed something out that just seems completely obvious to me. You guys, anybody that's a Gen Xer and had millennial kids, do you guys remember the Tamagotchi? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember what a Tamagotchi is. So those of you that don't know what a Tamagotchi is, it's this little fob that went on your keyring, and it had a little electronic animal in it. And the kids had to feed it every day, and they had to take care of it, or it would die. And it occurred to me the other day that the modern equivalent of the Tamagotchi is the smartphone, because she came walking out this morning and she said, "Oh, my phone died last night." And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, just like a Tamagotchi, isn't it? You're kind of a slave to it. You got to take care of it. You got to log into it every day, and you got to keep it alive." And so there's a whole generation of kids, the millennials, that were conditioned to taking care of an electronic device, i.e. their smartphone, this thing right here. Personally, I use it a lot. I got a smartphone for business. Up until about 7 or 8 years ago, I was using a Nokia flip phone, but I got one because the camera on these things are much better than the flip phones. But yeah, so we've got an entire generation that we're conditioned to feed the animals, feed the electronic animal. Hogs have still got one from when she was a kid. Let's see here. Hog says, "Yep, here in Cali, they're trying to ban semi-autos that can be modified as full auto. That's about 89% of the semi-auto guns out there, and it's moving through pretty quick." Actually, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the 89% being readily convertible is a lie that they've told you. Most semi-autos cannot be readily converted. You can convert anything into a fully automatic weapon. Seriously, you can with the proper tools and time and materials and resources. You could do it. But the key to the ATF, to the NFA laws are readily. That's the key word, readily. Yeah, 89% of the guns out there cannot readily be changed to it. Yeah, they're calling it a Glock ban because of the Glock switch, you know. And what gets me is that they catch people with Glock switches on, and they'll release them. It's a revolving door. So because you know it's the gun, that causes the problems. It's the gun that commits the crime. It's not the person behind the trigger. It's not the intent of the person that commits the crime or hurts somebody. It's the gun itself. Okay, so at the end of this video, what's going to happen is StreamYard is going to allow me to create, it's going to use AI to create the shorts that I post. I guarantee you that one right there is going to be turned into a short, and it's going to be able to be taken completely out of context. But I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it because it's so true when you're talking about liberals. Yeah, it is California. Yeah. And I hate to say this, I will probably never go to California ever again. We got relatives that live out there, but I have no desire to go visit California. Okay, let's see. Did you guys hear about Rite Aid closing? So Rite Aid is filing bankruptcy. They're completely shutting their doors, and it is causing some great consternation from the inner city people because they're not going to have as many places to get their meds, basically. You know, if inner city society did not drive businesses out, out of business and B, out of the city, then maybe there would not be a problem there. Okay, let me find. I've got one. Okay, you guys remember we were talking about American Steward? That's the American Stewards of Liberty. It's the website that does Liberty Matters every week. So they sent their newsletter out. Yeah, they shouldn't have shoplifted it much. So American Stewards sent their newsletter out this week, and here's some cool stuff. This is what happened that I think is really pertinent. So number one, the Trump administration is cracking down on lawfare. Friday of last week, the president signed the new executive order to stop the abuse and weaponization of government officials targeting American citizens and charging them with criminal offenses. Guys, this is a direct result. Or actually, I don't know if you remember last week, I was talking about the Mod family who was in South Dakota and was getting charged with stealing government land, basically. This is an outgrowth of that. So this is a good thing. This is if we can stop the weaponization of the system against the people, you know, they're going to have a lot harder time. Once people taste a little freedom, they're going to have a lot harder time taking it away from us. The next thing, the USDA, let me see. The USDA has new criteria for landowners, farmers, and renters, and the USDA customers who have fallen victim to unfair and politically motivated. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, there it is. There it is. So the government has been paying out money, taxpayer money, to farmers who have had crop loss due to weather. And the Trump administration has told the ag department to reevaluate the criteria. So it's going to be harder for people that like big ag and all these not small farmers to get taxpayer money to indemnify their losses when it comes to natural disasters. And here's another one. So there's a Agenda 2030 and sustainable goals are on the way to the slaughterhouse. Basically, we talked about it last week, but there's movement within the Trump administration to put these things in the grave permanently. And it's getting harder and harder for the UN and the people in America to promote this stuff because the administration just isn't doing it anymore. All right, so this is a good thing. And I'll post the link. Elizabeth, what's her name? I guess it's Elizabeth Sunday edition of Welcome to Absurdistan on Substack. I will post the link there. But, and so these are things that are happening in our world right now that are benefiting us. Eventually they will help us. Let's see here. So Anti just posted a link to Trump's tax plan. It's a YouTube link. Let's see what Lynn says. Crop insurance is a private business. I've been in it for years. Why the hell is the government involved? Well, because Lynn, the government can do. How do I put this? From the government standpoint, the government can do a better job of spending your money than you can. Period. The simple fact is that the basic daily goal of every government out there is to expand its power base. If you look at any contingency plan for natural disasters for any government whatsoever, the number one priority of every plan, and I can tell you this from being involved in the DOD and government here at the job I work for, the number one goal is continuity of government. Everything that happens after a natural disaster is specifically geared towards making sure that the government can continue to govern. Every other beneficial thing that comes out of that is a byproduct. It is not a purpose, right? And all you have to do is look at the North Carolina and Kentucky, or Tennessee people from Helena. You realize I read an article today that there's one person managing managing all the loans for the Helena victims. One government person. Now, I have not verified that. I have not gone and fact checked that. But if that's true, it's criminal. Yeah, I knew you did, but I just wanted to get on a rant and thank you. So, it's a mixed bag in our country these days. There's a prepper channel that I watch his lives every day, and he always asks, put one in the chat if you love your country, and I never respond to that. And here's the reason why, because I've said it before. So, do I love my nation? Yes, I definitely love my nation. Problem is, there's two nations in America right now. There's one that believes in the ideas of the founding fathers as laid out in the Constitution, and there's another one that believes in a post-constitutional America where everything is relevant. It's all relative, and these two ideas and these two ideologies cannot exist in the same space for very long. And unfortunately, things are headed to a climax here. And how it ends, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to understand how it all play out. All I know is that as homesteaders and preppers and people that believe in liberty, that it goes back to what I said earlier. You know what? If we believe what we believe, we have to behave in a certain way, and that certain way is doing the things that inoculates us and provides insurance against the stuff that may happen. And I say may. I'm not going to go out and say yes, it's going to happen, but there's a distinct possibility that it could. All right. So that if anything, if you're a new viewer and you've made it this far into this live or into the replay,
congratulations.
well, yeah, Angela just said congratulations. But the other part is that's the takeaway for everything that we do here. That is the takeaway. We need to be doing the things to inoculate ourselves and isolate us, or insulate us from what could possibly happen. Oh, let's see. You guys, hey, listen. While I'm going through my notes, I actually made notes. While I'm going through my notes, you guys put anything in the chat that you want to talk about. We can discuss that within reason. You and Ty. Well, Rabbit's not in here, so I know there's not going to be anything crazy there. But let's see here. Countries exist to serve nations, a system to support the people. Countries come and go, and nations stay. Example: Poland. Yes. So here's the deal, guys. If you look up the definition of a country or a government, it's a system that's put in place to govern a nation. It's the political aspect of a nation. All right. A nation is a group of people that share some common heritage or common belief, common language, common ethnicity, whatever. And that's the great thing about the United States, the America, not the United States, America. That's the great thing about America is the ideas behind the Constitution that the founding fathers laid out are what has held everybody together. You know, they say, oh, it's a bunch of white people. They say all these other things. They try to denigrate it. Simple fact is the genius of the Constitution and the founding fathers' beliefs was that they understood that it was flawed and that they put a mechanism in to be able to change it. Yeah. Grateful Heart says medical. Don't forget medical. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me, Grateful Hearts. You're just gonna.
No, don't change chairs. Just
No,
slide
I'm
over.
just-
You
I'm
got me
scooting
for
over.
5 minutes. Yeah.
If you guys don't understand what Grateful Hearts is talking about, go back and watch the preparedness continuum series, and you'll understand. I made a boo-boo. I made a big boo-boo.
You thought it was a big boo boo.
No, it was a big boo-boo, and he was right to they were right to call me out.
Yeah.
So
It's accountability, right?
yep.
So
Yep. But I owned it. I changed it.
Hmm?
I changed
You
it.
did, you
I
did.
adjusted everything.
Yep.
Let's see. What else? Okay. This one may get us demonetized. This topic may get us demonetized.
Because we get so rich off YouTube.
I know.
Right?
So I'm going to say this. Racism is alive and well in America. Proof.
And always.
Here's the proof. So President Trump opened up the refugee system to white Afrikaners from South Africa. And the very first batch of these people came in this last week. And the left is losing their minds.
That was a big deal.
So
today.
apparently being persecuted and having the government say that they want to kill you is terrible as long as you're not white.
Right. But what's happening in South Africa?
You know, and quite frankly, the Afrikaners that I've met personally have all been stand-up people. But it's extremely racist. It's the fact that they only get upset when it's white people coming in just bothers me. And so I did a little research. Do you realize that the white people only make up about between 10 and 20% of the world population? So as far as minorities go in the world population that the left is always trying to promote, whites are a minority. All right. And the left is so bigoted and racist that it even excuses people murdering white people in America. The left in America is that debased and that so far off of what's right. It's terrible. It's terrible. Now, Do not take this as a.
Does everybody understand what's happening in South Africa right now, though?
I don't know.
Because
Tell me.
we do know people that
Tell
are
me if you guys understand what's happening in
dealing
South
with it.
Africa right now.
Yeah,
So
because they may not.
in case anybody doesn't know, the South African government has got political people that are calling for the death of the Afrikaner, or the Boer, as they call them. They're calling for the death. They are seizing farms.
Not just seizing them; they're burning them down and hanging all the livestock from trees.
Well, you can go online and find before and after pictures of the farms in Africa that the government seized.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and we know people this has happened to.
Okay, and
so to their families.
So here's my caveat here. So it may sound like I am going on a racist bent here. I'm not. This is not. Yes, the left is racist. Their actions, you will know them by their fruits, and their fruits show that they're racist. Where I'm coming from is that it's a cultural thing. This is 100% culture. You know, the European culture was based on Christian ethos, and as a result, it made a work ethos and moral framework that allowed people to thrive. And if you look at the world today, everybody that is trying to tear the Western world down comes from a culture that is ass backwards. It's from the 7th century, or it's tribal in origin. All right. If you look at all the problems in America, the problems in America are not race-based, period. It's not. There's no systemic racism in America. It's not race-based. It's all based on culture. There's a problem whenever a successful Black person starts moving up and becoming successful. Well, I guess that's prerequisite for being a successful Black person, being successful. Anyway, so whenever they start to prosper, the first thing that happens within the Black community, and I can attest to this because I saw it on a daily basis from when I was for 17 years.
They become racist.
They try to tear them down.
Yep.
They try to tear them down. They become that lobster that's pulling the other lobster back into the boiling
They
pot.
call them names, all kinds of stuff.
All right. Yep. So this is if there's any call to action from tonight's live, is we need to, as conservatives and homesteaders and people that believe in liberty, we need to ensure that our message speaks directly to people as individuals, not as a member of a race, not as a member of a class. We need to appeal directly to the individual. And the picture that we paint is not about their tribe, their clan, their community. It's about them. Each individual is important, and everybody deserves to thrive. And we need to make sure that we promote an environment where that can happen. And if you can't understand why, I'll explain it really quick. If we provide an environment where people thrive, if something bad happens, that's one less person that we have to worry about. Hey, Cousin Jody's here.
Hey.
But that's one last person that we have to worry about for our survival or our well-being. And I grew up in a military school. I grew up in athletics. I was in the Marine Corps. I don't care about skin color. I care less what you are. If I shoot you, you're going to bleed just like anybody else.
Right.
It's all going to come out red.
Nobody cares.
So, I say this from a completely colorblind standpoint. I am very cultural. I am what I call a culturalist. All right. I am very critical of certain cultures because they are antithetical to modernity and individual freedom and liberty. All right. And I've been pretty damn forward about the way I believe about these things. So there it is. That's my rant. Hopefully I don't get the channel canceled. Hopefully I don't get get thrown in
you
jail.
Don't get me fired.
No. Martin Luther King would be 100% appalled
as to
of the neighborhoods that have streets named after him in them, because they are the complete antithesis of
what he was trying
of what
to
he
do.
believed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see here.
I don't have my glasses.
I've seen crosses burning on church lawns when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've lived about 20 miles from Beater, Texas, and when Obama was president, racism was at its worst.
Believe it or not, it was actually so in California, Southern California, that was happening as well. And I can remember Ku Klux Klan parades coming through in Southern California. And now it was in the what California would call basically the mountains. We were lower.
California hillbillies?
No. The ironic part is that now those are what Dad looked at. Those cities are primarily 50% Muslim.
Oh yeah.
So the KKK is, I'm assuming, getting flushed
Well,
out of
listen,
that.
when I grew up in Western Missouri, there was a
Mhm.
town south of Kansas City that had a great big billboard that said, "Burp, get out of town before dark or else."
Wow.
There was an incident where a black trucker had a grenade thrown into the back of his tractor trailer.
Get out.
When I was a kid, this was in the 70s.
Wow.
So I grew up in an area where racism, like systemic racism, was a real thing. And every single one of those people that was racist and did those things and put those signs up were Democrats.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Bunny Blue, you're right. And so, I grew up military. My dad was in the Navy, and that's how we learned it. Everybody bled green. I married a Marine. Everybody bleeds green, or everybody is green. You only see green. But anyway.
Well, different shades of green.
Yeah, there's nothing. And
I was light green.
We even had a friend.
Perry was dark green.
Perry
was British.
Perry was, would you call him dark green?
Perry was dark green.
Perry, I don't know. Perry, he had such a beautiful accent. Perry was from
my God,
England.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
English.
yeah. Oh, he had a beautiful accent. Just I don't know why he never got a girl. He just, I don't know what the world, but yeah, no, all he cared about was hanging out with us.
So when we were in Washington, D.C., we adopted a retired police dog.
Yeah.
Ashes.
One of the best.
Was good. One of the best dogs we ever had.
Except for she had a problem.
She hated black people.
No, I don't know.
Hold on a second. Let me finish the story.
I wouldn't say she hated.
Let me finish the story.
Mm-hmm.
She would go off whenever black people came around, except for Perry.
Yeah.
And we could never figure out why. Yeah. And we finally figured out why, because the first time that she met him, he was in his camis. And I was coming home every day in my camis. So she associated the uniform to the person.
Yeah.
So when he stepped in the door with his camis on, he was good to go, man. She loved him. She loved him.
Yeah.
So, so again, it's culture. Yeah. It is 100% culture. Even dogs are smarter than liberals because they can understand the whole culture thing versus the color of your skin.
Yep.
Oh man, how's that for
that was an insight in hell.
How's that for a revelation?
Right. Right.
Uh-oh. Bonnie got so excited she broke her glasses. Now she can't see her typos.
Oh my goodness.
See, we get people riled up. We get people riled up on
I'm still trying to patch my glasses together. Y'all don't make fun of my glasses. I got to go get my eyes checked. I'm going to take money out of the safe and go do that because I am just like, they have to stay on my head. And I can't keep them on my head unless I have a headband. So
Perry was fun for a Brit, a lousy dart player. Yes, he was probably the worst dart player I ever met.
Yes, he was. So was I. We were in good shape.
Yes, played darts at Mickey's every week. Absolutely.
And at Lynn's apartment.
Yeah, we had a big piece of plywood called the Perry board.
Put wood out, and I always hit Perry's board.
Yeah, it was Perry's board because he put more darts into the plywood than he did the dart target. Okay. Let's see. They called the Larry Elder black white. Yeah, exactly. Of course, coming from the same people that can't tell you what a female is or a woman is,
right?
It's to be expected.
Right.
All right. Hey, listen, guys, it's getting late. Got some stuff we need to do. I need to go. Princess is outside. I penned her up so she couldn't get out of her cage. I need to go get her.
She needs to eat too, probably.
I already fed her.
She probably want it again.
But so listen, you guys, if you've made it this far, and
Congratulations.
you're new, again, congratulations. Stop saying that because you make it sound like it's a chore.
It is.
Listen, if you're new to the channel, you've made it this far, think about subscribing.
You got to be a special person to make it this far.
Oh yeah, you really do. Little touched in the head,
right?
Think about subscribing. We talk about these things. The videos, we try to make them as pertinent to today's world as possible, and we try to provide a little bit of guidance on homesteading and stuff. I promise that I'm going to start doing more evergreen content, i.e. homesteading stuff that's pertinent no matter what time it is, how much time has passed. Heads up, the second chance to say no video that was scheduled for tomorrow night at 8 p.m. has to be postponed until Thursday because they're doing a special event at work tomorrow night, and I'm not going to get off until 8.
Yeah, we're going to be scrambling.
So I rescheduled it. But it's a good video. I'm really liking this series, the second chance to say no, and I hope it helps somebody. I hope it inspires somebody to say no when they get another chance. Basically, all right.
Oh! Speaking of saying no, what do you have right here?
Oh, we forgot to say it. Okay, hey, you guys, everybody that made it this far in the video or the live stream, this is a thumb drive.
Dun, dun, dun.
This thumb drive has the talk on food preservation that Angela and I gave at Self-Reliance Festival.
Not food preservation.
Yeah, food preservation.
No, it was our escape.
No, this is the food preservation one.
You sure?
Anyway, well, that's what the
I'll have to talk to Rebecca.
That's what Rebecca said. Anyway,
okay.
I have not watched it, so I honestly don't know exactly what's on here. But
we're gonna have to watch it.
I'm gonna pull this off. I'm gonna break it down into bite-sized pieces, and you guys are gonna get to see the talk that we gave at Self-Reliance Festival in the near future. It's gonna be hard because I don't like watching myself on film. She likes watching it. She's kind of narcissistic.
I don't. I go back through and I look for errors and what we have to like fix and that kind of thing. So be on the lookout for that. You anything? You already done your 10% spill. She raised the bar. She raised the bar on you guys. So 10% instead of 10%. Don't screw around.
We're going to ask you next week if you're not listen.
It's spring.
If you're not
be able to do 10%.
If you're not 10% better. Next week when we have the live, we're just going to boot you. We're just going to kick you off the channel. Period. No more of this half-stepping.
No.
The grumpy nation has to put the nose.
It's going to be divided. Grumpy nation.
We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do it for that. I would probably do it for something way less than that. So, all right, guys, listen. Seriously,
we love you all.
Thank you for joining us. We enjoy your company. I wish we all lived close together so we could sit down and have a beer and talk like this on a regular basis.
Break bread, even.
Yeah, break bread. Exactly. Do you have anything else you want to say other than your 10%?
Yeah, find something that challenges you, and really, and this is part of your 10%. You can actually count it in. Find something that challenges you. Get back into something that you love and is designed for you, and be successful at it.
Exactly.
Just go and run.
Be successful. Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, as always, when you put your head on the pillow tomorrow, be better off than you were when you woke up, and go out and live a life debt-free. All right, guys.
Do you ever think about living in a world where we don't have access to modern medicine anymore?
Infections just aren't going to heal themselves. They're just not going to magically get fixed.
These medications will become life-saving for you and the people you care about. It's all done online through the Jace Medical portal.
This kit right here, it's called the Jace case.
Jace Medical, they can supply you with emergency antibiotics.
If somebody gets really sick, that might be the only thing that can save their life.
And it's full of the top 5 antibiotics that we would need in an emergency situation.
It's an actual doctor that's prescribing you to this. It can be tailored for you specifically.
Getting our Jace case was super simple. We just went on their website, filled out a short form. It was reviewed by a board-certified physician, and then he wrote the prescription and mailed this to us from a real pharmacy.
This is a great addition to your medical kit.
And it's